Hello, all my dear chickadees. Look what's finally out. This is Mushroom Oasis, and if you guys didn't know it, we've been playing it on our channel as it's been coming out. Like the first demo was just day one, and then day two came out, and now day three has just dropped. It has been 9 months since we last played day two, so I am very excited, as I know all of you are. So we're just gonna dive on in and see our dear beloved Mychael again. Oh, I love him so much. Uh, yeah, so much that wait, no, not that. Look, if you look over here in the corner of my room, I have a Mychael plushie. Isn't he cute? I had to do it because he's like a he and the game has been a big part of our channel, and I had to show it. We had to have a little Mychael plushie in the room. But now we're just gonna dive on in. I am so excited. Oh, did did we always have a little mushroom as a mouse? As a cursor? I don't know. I don't know. Alright, load. Okay, here we go. We've just passed out at the river, I believe. If you haven't seen part one and part two, I highly suggest you go check it out so you know what the heck's going on. And let's see. Ugh. I blinked groggily, awake to the gentle sounds of a cracking fire, the itchy texture of the worn bed sheets, the weight of a heavy knit blanket. I could recall once or twice having felt these very sensations to the point I consider them familiar and comforting. And yet... Oh, hello! Hi, Mychael! That's a little too close, baby! Oh no! That's like when you wake up in the middle of the night and your cat's just sitting like an inch away from you staring at you going, "Oh, you're awake, human. Feed me? Play with me?" Oh god, Mychael, baby, back up a little. Nothing could prepare me for the bright yellow eyes peering into mine. Oh god, hello. Did we punch him? Oh, I'm dying over here. Oh, he just went thunk. Ah! My knuckles hit him square in the face as Mychael yelped, nose scrunching as the taller man stumbled backwards into a stool. He landed on his rear with the grace of a clumsy toddler on the floor. I sat up in a panic and immediately grimaced, landing back on the bed with an unceremonious flop. It hit me in one fell swoop how my whole body was aching. Every single one of my limbs felt like they'd gone through a ringer and came out the other side all crinkled and wrong. I groaned aloud, leaning my head back on the pillow. Buddy, I'm sorry, but it serves you right being that close to us and startling us. Oh no. Is your nose okay? Mychael shifted back onto his feet, rubbing his nose. Sparrow! His voice was an awkward croak before he cleared his throat. I'm glad you're awake. How are you feeling? Terrible. He visibly flinched. I'm sorry to hear that. He stepped closer to the bed, leaning over warily in case my hand dramatically whips out self-defense. He's learning. He's learning. With my hand settled on my lap, he deemed it safe enough to sit beside me. What happened, Mychael? You ain't gonna fess up, are you, buddy? You, don't remember? I shook my head, wincing a bit as my head pounded. Not at all. Mychael hesitated. You, tripped and hit your head. I had to carry you home? His words almost slurred together as he fidgeted. My head? I slowly lifted my hand to feel for bumps or bruises, but he hastily snatched my wrist. Don't worry about that. Here, have this. It'll help. Mychael gave me a familiar looking drink as he pressed a cup into my hands. Sitting up with some effort to take a sip, I couldn't help the small sense of deja vu. The amount of times I woke up in his bed dazed and disoriented is almost uncomfortable by now. At least the drink was helping, just like he promised. My body felt lighter as I finished. Mychael took the cup from me and set it aside before wringing his hands together with a nervousness I hadn't seen in a while. So, I, I'm sorry this happened. I didn't mean for you to get hurt. I sighed and waved aside his worry with an embarrassed grumble. Wouldn't be the first time I tripped, if you believe it. It's not your fault. He gave a soft chuckle but sounded guilty. I suppose you're right. It's just... His face looked like it had a million thoughts running through his head. I promised, didn't I? I said I was going to look out for you. I said I was going to keep you safe. Instead, I made you hurt. His voice cracked. I'm so sorry, Sparrow. The sudden change in demeanor was startling to say the least. You couldn't have predicted it was going to happen. And I'm fine, see? Oh, Firefly. I guess you're right. His expression carried a lingering doubt, but he quickly masked it with a small smile, his eyes dim. In that case, you'll be staying? The way he said it almost sounded like a decision that's already been made. Or a plea. What do you mean? His eyes darted aside. You agreed to let me find Kitty, remember? Okay, I don't remember what I called the cat when we originally played. As per like the dev's suggestion, I ran all the way through from the beginning to here, and I couldn't remember what we named the cat, so I just named it Kitty. Okay, so if it's a different name in the last playthrough we did, that is why. Okay. Did I say that? Yeah. So you'll be staying a while longer, right? He didn't even let me get a word in. In fact, a feeling of uncertainty washed over me as if we'd had this conversation before. I don't think... Besides, what's the rush? It's already late and you're in no condition to travel anyway. I blinked before glancing out the window. Pitch black darkness greeted me as I realized he was right. Yet another uncanny feeling spread through my chest, shivers crawling down my spine. I don't know why, but something about this whole situation felt wrong. I feel like I'm forgetting this is us. I feel like I'm forgetting something else. Mychael had a nervous look on his face. Maybe you hit your head harder than you thought. His words didn't sound confident. How long was I out? A couple of hours, I think. You really took a hit. It was that bad? My brows creased as I tried to recall today's events. But I don't remember tripping. There was a river. Uh-oh. I remember you. And then... And then... Your memory must be fuzzy, and for good reason. After all, it's been a rough few... My stomach rumbled suddenly, echoing in the quiet room. There was a heavy silence right after. We were so close to remembering. But the tummy interrupted us. Yeah, remember guys, in part 2, we were trying to leave Mychael, and Mychael used his mushroom powers on us. I'm saying mushroom powers because, he's got a little mushroom tail and everything, but he used his, powers on us and kind of knocked us out. That's what actually happened. Mychael was polite enough to hide his chuckle under a palm as I flushed. He seemed relieved. Well, lucky for you, I got dinner on the way. It should be ready soon. You're okay with soup, right? Soup? Soup sounds alright. My stomach growled once more, the pain of an empty gut making me wince a bit. My host noticed immediately. Oh, maybe we should get you some food sooner than later. Do you feel okay to get up? I nodded with a grumble, swinging my legs over the side of the bed before noticing something was on my lap. Wait, what's this? Oh, look at it's so cute. That is an adorable sweater. And that looks like very comfy pants. Did he make it? I unbundled a pile of thick fabric, realizing it was an oversized sweater with a pair of baggy sweatpants. A mushroom pattern? That's oddly cute. The material felt worn, but comfortable. A towel laid right next to him. Is this for me? Oh, I figured since you'd be staying another night, you'd want some fresh clothes. They might be a few sizes bigger. Or a lot? Sorry. Aww. Oh, look at his blush. I love that he blushes blue. That is so adorable. He gotten shy for some reason. On the other hand, I didn't have to take a whiff of myself to know that I probably reek. I nodded again, giving him a small but grateful smile. They're fine, Mychael. Thank you. Yet another thing I'd have to owe him. I couldn't help feeling like I'm taking advantage of his kindness now. So, you know where the bathroom is? Take your time cleaning up. I'll be in the kitchen if you need anything. I'm really happy you're here. He stood there for a few good seconds, fidgeting with his hands as if he wanted to say more before finally heading to the kitchen. I watched his back retreat before hoisting myself up and heading to the bathroom. Now that I was alone, I had a moment to gather my thoughts. The nagging feeling was back, a prickling feeling across my skin, raising goosebumps as if to tell me I shouldn't be here. I just couldn't place my finger on what. Alright, our first choice. Okay. Yeah, we're overlapping that. I should be careful. I was probably just being paranoid. I was probably just being paranoid. Then again, it's been a while since I've showered, so I could chalk it up to dirt accumulating on me and making me itch in places I didn't want to think about. After undressing, I folded my clothes so I could place them in my backpack later before turning on the shower. The water was ice cold. My teeth chattered as I cleaned myself as fast as I could using some scentless soap by the side of the tub. Dressing myself again, I wrung out my hair as best I could before drying it with a towel. That must be like the quickest shower in history if it was cold. It's just like hurrying through it. I mean, I feel that. You don't know how much warm water means until you don't have it. Putting on the clothes Mychael provided, I felt like I'd shrunk in size. I adjusted the sleeves and waistband to my liking with some struggling, just so my hands and feet could poke out of the holes comfortably. I couldn't help noticing his clothes smelled like freshly cut grass, with a smoky hint of a woodsy bonfire. The scent reminded me of a camping in summer. Persistent doubt aside, I definitely felt way better compared to when I woke up. Stepping out, I could smell something good coming from the kitchen. A gentle hum greeted me as I came through the doorway. Aw, hey cutie. Mychael was idly stirring a box by the stove, looking up at me as I entered the kitchen. Whatever he had in that pot made my stomach grumble yet again. His ears flicked as he registered the clothes I was wearing. How do they fit? I shrugged. They're definitely bigger on me. He nodded, turning back to the pot. I can see that. I wasn't sure what you normally wear, so I went with whatever I had that was... He struggled to pick a word. Coziest? I gave a hum of agreement, fiddling with the hum of his sweater. Oh, flirt or goof around. Okay. Okay, we're gonna go back and do everything later, but we gotta do it. Was I really about to do this? I guess I was. With the confidence of a courting peacock with nothing to lose. I leaned against the doorway, making sure to prop my hip in just to the right angle against the edge. I think I look good in your clothes. Maybe I should wear them more often. With how baggy the clothes are on me, I probably look closer to a sentient sack of potatoes than a human being. Mychael must have sensed something was different with my tone as he gave a confused chuckle with his tail noticeably swishing side to side. Um, I, I guess you could? Though I'm pretty sure most of them won't fit right. Undeterred, I continued on. I could help find something more comfortable. I sent the smoothest wink I could muster. Wink. Even the screen got black. That was nice. Nailed it. He seemed to consider my offer. I thought I found the right outfit. But you can look through the closet for something you like now that you're awake. Do you have something in your eye? He doesn't understand the flirting. I straightened subtly. I'm just trying something, I guess. Trying what? Never mind. Oh, our poor innocent baby. Oh, was cooking good looking? Ah, that worked. That worked. Against all odds, his cheeks actually began to color, his hands stirring the pot, faltering for a brief second. What? Wait, this might actually work. I bolstered my efforts, leaning forward with another smile. You heard me. You said... He hesitated to repeat it. Well, maybe you should get your eyes checked. Yeah, this was a terrible idea. I cleared my throat awkwardly. Thank you for the clothes. He must have sensed something wrong again, so he quickly tried to salvage whatever the hell was going on. For what it's worth, you look, you look very... What? Whatever it was sounded like several strange clicks of his tongue. But with vowels? Somehow? What? He huffed, tail waving side to side like a metronome. It means... He trailed off. I guess in your language it would mean... Um... Cute? Oh... My smile faltered as he fidgeted. We stared at each other. I might actually have a chance. The color on his face was closer to a blueberry the longer I looked at him. There was an awful, awkward tension before I broke it all with a nervous laugh. Cute? Look at him sweating bullets over there. In fact, I could swear I heard him whimper in panic. The situation was so absurd I had to laugh harder. Was that so hard to say? He spluttered. I didn't think you'd be comfortable with me saying it. Why not? Well, you know. What do I know? My grin was teasing, and he picked up on that quickly, his nervousness dissipating as he gave a sharp puff. His hand stirred the pot faster. So I called you cute. It's not a big deal. Then why is your face so blue like it is? He made another choking sound, his eyes darting around. It's just the heat from the stove. I'm cooking my best here. It is just the heat from the stove, isn't it, buddy? It's just the heat from the stove. The Nile's just not just a river in Egypt. I snickered at his terrible excuse. You're a bad liar. But it's true. Stovetops don't do that. Mine does. A glaring contest ensued before we ended up bursting into a fit of giggles, my face warming from the silly banter. kettle started whistling then, cutting our moment short. He seemed disappointed by the shift in atmosphere, but quickly moved to pick it up. Why don't you take a seat, Firefly? I'll be right with you. He was already turning his back towards me to start preparing the tea. I slowly approached him. Hey, let me help this time. Mychael, startled, surprised to see me beside him. Oh, sure. Could you get some of the bowls ready? We're having tomato soup. Oh, do you want some grilled cheese with yours, or would you prefer garlic bread? Aw. Do. Let's see. Grilled cheese, please. Got it. I brushed past him, feeling his tail linger by my ankle as I grabbed the bowls and spoons from the bottom shelf. He started preparing the sides, the smell of the toasted bread filling the kitchen and mingling with the soups. I took over preparing the tea. Finally, I ladled the soup from the pot into the larger bowl just as Mychael finished flipping the last piece. Ooh, that looks good. We settled in for a nice hot dinner. Regardless of how I felt about the tomato soup, Mychael's turned out rich and creamy with an amazing balance of sour and sweet. Dipping in the bite-sized grilled cheese sandwiches I made, it tasted like pure, savory comfort, crisp and gooey. Even if I had never had it as a kid, it still made me feel nostalgic somehow. I want it now. I honestly want it now. There's still a feeling of stilted awkwardness, but the food helped ease us both into a warmer, light-hearted conversation. I didn't realize how hungry I was until I refilled my bowl. Mychael, watching me with his chin propped in his hand. His own bowl sat empty. Apparently he already had his fill. Is tomato soup your favorite? His question was innocent, though his eyes were observing me as carefully as I shrugged. I think I'd love anything you cook. Oh, he stilled, taking a second to process what I said. Oh, he's so happy. Well, thank you. No, thank you. Usually I get takeout or microwave dinners. Nothing beats home-cooked food. What's a microwave? Oh, I snickered and tried to explain the best I can. A metal box that heats up food? That sounds like... What's the word in those fantasy books? Magic? Am I using that word right? I laughed lightly. Sometimes science is just like that. We talked about other kitchen appliances off the top of my head, slowly branching out to other human inventions. He seemed even more interested. I never understood how, technology worked. I pulled out my phone and let him fiddle with it. Though the battery is dead, there's not much I could show him. He was clearly disappointed. It's about as useful as a brick. For now. Otherwise, I'd have a whole network of information in my hands. His eyes lit up. Like a library? You can access it at any time as long as the battery is alive? Oh, and as long as I have an internet connection. Right. Internet. I didn't know you could do that. I just see people staring at them all the time. It seemed boring. He looked at my phone again, a look of wonder on his face. Having a whole library in your hands. Everyone must be really smart then. Well, not everyone uses it like a library. More like a messaging hub? Or like a source of content consumption? His ear flicked as he stares at me with a blank smile. He don't understand. Consumption? You can eat it? Yeah, he had no clue what I'm talking about. Baby, please don't eat our phone, okay? Please, okay? It'll be bad for you. How do I explain to him the very concept of Web 2.0? I cleared my throat, deciding that I simply won't. Maybe I'll show you what I mean someday. His eyes brightened, seeming to like that idea a lot. You mean it? I can have some? Yeah. I think it's about time you start getting a little more modern around here. No offense. Imagine what you could do with a generator. His smile widened just a tad, though there's still a cluelessness to his face that was just a little endearing. Oh, our cutie. Look how cute he is. Oh, he's so excited to learn. Jenny Raider? I laughed and reached across to pat his hand, a gesture that made his smile wobble. Like I said, I'll show you someday. A loud thwack sounded against the floorboards, followed by rhythmic thumping. Leaning over, I could see the tip of his tail was wagging back and forth, the tip of it slapping against the floor almost comically. Mychael looked flustered as he laughed softly, pulling his hand back to rub his neck. Sorry. He looked like he had more to say, but exhaled heavily, gathering himself before tilting his chin towards my empty bowl. Are you done? I nodded as he stood and collected our dirty dishes, heading towards the sink to wash them. I followed closely behind, carrying the mugs. We made quick work of the dishes, heading back to the living room to relax. Mychael headed to the basket of knitting materials, his movements routine. I wasn't sure what to do with myself. I looked over at Mychael as he pulled out the stool from the corner of the room towards the front of the fireplace. His ear flicked in my direction before he returned my glance. Do you knit? Oh, let's see. Yes, actually, a little, not at all. Let's just be safe and go with a little. His smile softened. A little is enough sometimes. Can I see what you're working on? He looked surprised, not expecting my interest. Sure, it's just something to work on in my downtime. Halfway through, I start to realize that maybe it's not really my color. He lifted it up for me to see, only for my foot to kick the basket, sending a ball of yarn rolling towards the bed. Oh, sorry. I quickly followed after, only to halt as I spotted something under the bed. It was glinting off the bright firelight within the room. Oh? Well, it's got a little. Is that like a lunchbox? It has like a little mushroom on it. Approaching the bed and tilting my head lower, I could see it was a tin containing the size of a shoebox. What's that? Mychael looked up. Under your bed. Is this something important? A hesitant look came across his face. Oh, just some emergency supplies. Nothing too special. Had an inkling it was something more, but I figured I'd let him keep his privacy without prying anymore. I see. Mychael watched me for a moment or two before clearing his throat. Hey, Firefly. I've been meaning to ask. Do you remember what you said at the river? The river? Oh, where I tripped. I pursed my lips in thought. Not really. Everything feels fuzzy to me. He seemed disappointed. Oh, not even a little? I shook my head. Why? Did I say something stupid? Just some things. It made me happy. Oh, God. I think I did say something stupid. Before I could ask about it, he already gestured towards the bed. Well, you should get some sleep, Firefly. Want to wake up nice and early to find Kitty, right? The idea of looking for my cat once more made me wilt. You really think we'll find him? Mychael looked on edge, pocketing his hands. It doesn't hurt to try, but it does hurt to hope. His face twitched. Well, His ears flattened as he thought of something to say, clearly struggling. He finally opened his mouth to respond, his words slow and careful. I'm here for you. Thank you, Mychael. He nodded, a strange mixture of polite happiness and hidden anxiety playing across his face. He's probably not used to another person sticking around this long, let alone someone going through a loss he could care less about. Maybe I've been enough of a burden to him. Actually, can you just send me home? His brow raised, his posture straightened in surprise. Are you sure? But what about Kitty? D- don't you want to see if we can find him? I'm sure. A look of apprehension crossed his face. But it's so soon. Kitty could be out there. We could. Mychael, please. I just can't think about him right now. I just want to go home. He fidgeted with the sleeves of his cardigan. But I. I. He looked like he had so much more to say, but whatever turmoil going on in his head was quickly swept behind a reassuring smile. Okay. Get some sleep, Firefly. You've been through a lot. He went to collect his blankets again, already arranging them into a nest like the night before. The words left my mouth before I could think twice. Do you want to use the bed tonight? He stopped in his tracks. Oh. No, I don't mind the floor. I meant that we could be sharing the bed. Hearing it out loud just made me want to slap myself across the face. Mychael blinked at me before laughing lightly. My bed's too small for two people, don't you think? I don't think it'd be comfortable for either of us. Well, we could snuggle. We could snuggle on in. We could be the little spoon. We could just snuggle in together. He eyed the bed frame before looking back at me. I'll be alright. With that, he crouched on the floor and started setting up his bed, his tail swaying lingily. I laid down and faced the wall, a sharp sting of embarrassment in my chest refusing to go away. Why did I ask that? That was so stupid. Maybe I needed a sense of comfort. Or maybe I just needed him. Whichever it was, at least he took it at face value. I wasn't sure what I'd even do if he said yes. I groaned internally and shut my eyes, willing myself to go to sleep. The last thing I heard was the gentle crackling of the fireplace, accompanied by Mychael's knitting needles clicking away in the dark. Before I knew it, I could hear birds chirping outside the window. The first thing I noticed was the fire must have been out, considering I couldn't hear the familiar pop and snap that came with the room's ambience. The second thing I realized was the hand gently shaking my shoulder awake. Wake up, sleepyhead. I stirred, yawning as I sat up. Mychael beamed, hand still on my shoulder. There you are. Have a good sleep? I mumbled incoherently. I mean, maybe we had a good sleep if we slept that solidly. How is he going to stop us from going back today? His smile widening into a grin as I blinked myself out of my woozy state. If I didn't know any better, he seemed to enjoy waking me up in the morning just to see my disgruntled expressions. Breakfast is ready. Wash up and meet me in the kitchen, okay? Give me a second. He took that as my assent, humming his response. Suddenly, his hand reached up to ruffle my hair, messing up my bedhead further. A little stinker. Hey! He merely laughed at my indignant squawk before reminding me once more to get up, his steps already thudding towards the kitchen. Recovering after a moment, I made my way down. I stared at the wall and pondered my situation for a second as I made my way to the bathroom. He's such a cutie, his little blue tongue. He seems to be in a good mood for us wanting to go home today. This was the third day since I left my house. I'm missing work, missing my cat, and missing my sense of direction. I gotta get back to my life. Today, I quietly reminded myself of my goal. I padded to the bathroom, freshened up, and joined him in the kitchen. Mychael was already seated, cutting into some pancakes. His smile was bright as I entered the kitchen, his tail flicking closer to my seat as I sat down. A similar stack of mouth-watering pancakes was placed across from him, waiting for me to dig in. Ooh, look at that. Blueberry and uh, some strawberries. Ooh, some butter. Mmm. Though I couldn't bring myself to muster up an appetite with so many thoughts filling up my head. He seemed to notice the look on my face, laughing nervously. You look serious. Something on your mind, Firefly? I picked up my fork, twiddling with it. I'm just worried about getting home, Mychael faltered as he lifted a piece to his mouth. Oh. Whoa, look how dark his eyes got. You're still thinking about that. He seemed annoyed, which was a first. Of course. Of course, I've been gone for 3 days. People probably think I've gone missing. His gaze lowered, almost grumbling. Is that so bad? What? Yeah, it's bad. Why do you sound like you don't even care? Mychael frowned, looking up at me. Why do you sound like you're, let's try this again. Why do you sound like you're desperate to leave? What? It's all you ever think about. Are you not happy here? Is it not enough? I sighed, rubbing my fingers over my eyes. Mychael, we've gone over this. I've said it once and I'll say it again. You've done so much for me already, but I can't keep pretending everything's okay here. I want to go home. I need to go home. He sucked in a deep breath, grunting something indecipherable under his breath. I only wanted to... He seemed to be battling himself before he finally sighed. I'm sorry. You're right. Of course you're right. His tone seemed genuine, even if the hurt in his eyes was clear as day. I'll send you back today. I narrowed my eyes. I mean it this time. I promise. He held his hand over his chest. I swear on my heart. Oh. Is he telling the truth? Okay, let's be nice and let's trust him. I mean, how could I not trust him? He was my last hope. Okay. I paused for a moment before quickly adding, thank you. He nodded and went back to eating, watching me expectantly as he took a timid bite. It was a moment before he swallowed and spoke again. Can you promise me something? His voice was quiet, for lack of a better word, vulnerable. What is it? Promise me. His mouth hung open for a second or two before he laughed. Promise you weren't lying when you said you liked my cooking? I snorted. Are you kidding? Do I look like the kind of person to lie? I'm offended, Mychael. He laughed again, light and airy. But if I dared look closer, I could tell it was fake. He's trying to hide how upset he is. He probably didn't want our last moments tense and awkward. The least I could do was meet him halfway. Oh, we're outside again. Oh no, how's it gonna go? Before long, we found ourselves walking down another path from Mychael's. The route was different today, probably because he didn't have any detours in mind. We walked in silence for a while. The only thing accompanying us were the sounds of nature and our footsteps. I couldn't tell what Mychael was thinking. I knew he wasn't the talkative type unless spoken to, but right now he seemed eerily quiet. His back was tense, eyes looking nowhere but forward. My voice was itching to say something. Anything. But it felt like the both of us had some thoughts to digest, despite it being easier to just say it out loud. Still, the silence was getting unbearable. We both halted in our steps at the sound of rustling, Mychael's ear perking in the direction. What was that? His hands were already raising to hold his crossbow, deftly cocking it with an experienced pull of the string until a loud click was heard. Stay quiet, Stay close. I swallowed, my heart picking up speed. He started stalking low towards the source of the noise, his boots barely making a sound compared to my clumsy footsteps. The rustling continued, sounding like a scruffle was occurring between the bushes. Closer. Closer. Until my ears picked up an unfamiliar, high-pitched sound. It sounded like a tiny infant screaming. As morbid as that was, Mychael actually relaxed as he recognized it. His steps hastened silently towards the source, a crossbow lowering until we came across what exactly it was that caused the disturbance. No, poor bunny! Oh no, he got stuck in a trap. Can we help him? A rabbit. A small, delicate foot snagged in an old rusted trap. Its little body trembled as it breathed fast and shallow, no doubt scared out of its mind. Mychael regarded it empathetically before unloading his crossbow, disturbing the caught rabbit, but at the same time relieved at the absence of a threat. Just a rabbit. Sweeping his crossbow back and... Okay, let me get a drink. Oh, poor bunny. I mean, I know it's probably going to be a source of food, but I can't help it. I don't like little animals being in pain. Sweeping his crossbow behind his back and out of sight, he looked at it for another moment before looking up towards me. Let's keep going then. My mouth dropped in shock. And leave that poor thing behind? He raised a brow, confused at my bewilderment. Yes? But it's gonna die. His face twisted into confusion. That's generally what happens to prey animals, yes. He was so nonchalant about it that I had to keep my emotions in check. We can't do that. Look at it. His expression was understanding, if a little annoyed. I am. Someone left a trap. Okay, we didn't leave. Mychael didn't leave the trap. Someone did. A rabbit gets caught in it. That's how it works. What do you want me to do? Set it free? Obviously. He was frowning now. I can't. If someone is nearby, they'll be suspicious how their catch got free. Does that matter? Animals escape traps all the time. The poor thing is suffering. Sparrow, I know you're smarter than this. If it doesn't die today, it'll die tomorrow. To a trap, to a fox, to a hunter. It probably won't even survive long with its injured foot if we let it free. You're prolonging the inevitable. Can't you put it out of its misery then? He hesitated. Do you really want me to do that? No. But even then, we don't know if anyone's coming back for it. The thing looks so old. He sighed impatiently, looking stubborn in his decision. That's the point of a trap. Is to keep things right where they are until you come back. The way he said it just rubbed me the wrong way. Okay. He's being realistic. He's being sadistic. Oh, I don't know. I'm somewhere in between. Like, alright, let's think about this. He's being realistic in the point that I guess he understands how, like, hunters and everything works, because he's been hiding in this forest for a while now, so he knows not to bring attention to himself, and also he understands that, you know, that's how things work. But at the same time, he does feel like he's being a little bit sadistic, because he's being like, this is the way of the world. The prey gets eaten. Traps are set. If the bunny doesn't die today, he'll die tomorrow. So, from our point of view, we could say he's being a bit sadistic, because he's not even putting the bunny out of his misery. But this one's hard. We'll do. I'm coming back and I'll do everything else, but we'll just say he's being realistic right now. In a way, his logic made sense, but still. I could hardly believe how needlessly callous he was being. For someone so sweet with his hens, he was so indifferent about the poor rabbit shaking at our feet. I looked down at it once more, my heart breaking as it started to squeak. Mychael. I guess you're right. Please? Oh no. Oh no. Okay, please? My heart was torn as the rabbit helplessly kicked its feet, its cries weakening. Oh no. Oh, this is sad. I'm sorry for any other animal lovers watching this. I would just skip forward a little bit if I was you. I'm sorry. For a moment, I imagined Kitty being caught in the trap just like this one, left to starve and die when someone could have been there to help him. No, we can't leave it like this. Please, Mychael. His harsh gaze started to soften at my plea. Doesn't matter that much to you, Firefly. I nodded quickly without hesitation. Please. It'll be the last time I ever ask for anything. He paused for another moment before shaking his head with a defeated sigh. Somehow, I doubt it's the last time. There's a smile in his voice, though. But all right. I'll do it for you. Stand back. I have to pry it open. My gratitude was clear on my face as he pulled out a deadly-looking hunting knife from his pocket, kneeling down next to the rabbit. The terrified creature started to writhe all over again at the sight of the looming threat. Mychael grunted as he held it down firmly with one hand. It started to fall still under his hold, relaxing completely with his foot hanging limp. Huh. He sure got away with animals. I backed away to give him space, not wanting to distract him. As he was working to free the rabbit, I looked around to take in my surroundings. The trees felt somewhat familiar, a flash of memory playing in my mind. Casting one last glance towards Mychael's back, I wandered a bit farther away, making sure to stay within earshot. I took a few steps before I came across a familiar sight. Oh, it's the circle! Oh, it was a circle of mushrooms from the other day. I recalled that Kitty was definitely here. I hesitated at the edge of it, a sourceless sense of fear suddenly coursing through me as I stared at it. Had it grown bigger? The longer I stood there, the more the fear dissipated, my limbs tingling pleasantly and urging me forward. No! The mushrooms are calling to us, no! Before I realized it, my foot was already lifting to approach it. Closer. Closer. Staring at it, a fuzzy haze creeped over my mind. My face was warm. Mychael! 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 Please! Come get us! I found myself smiling at the oddly comforting familiarity, like recalling a fond memory, like greeting an old friend. I knelt down to inspect the growth, reaching out to brush my hand on one of the mushroom caps. Oh, it was animated! Look at that! That was animated! Ah! That was cool! When someone yanked my wrist back. What? Don't. Huh? Don't touch those. Oh, his eyes are moving! Look at that! I looked up to see Mychael looming over me, gaze sharp and irises shaped like thin silvers. You have a terrible habit of wandering off, don't you? I gulped. I just... How is the rabbit? Is it safe? His eyes narrowed as I failed to change the subject. It's free, like you asked. Don't touch those. Mychael squeezed my wrist before letting go. I rubbed my wrist. It didn't hurt, but his grip had intent. Why? What's wrong with them? Nothing. Mychael! Mychael! Really, this is a perfect point of why you need to let your pet human go back to the real world, okay? We will wander off and be eaten by mushrooms if you take your eyes off of us for 5 seconds. Just don't touch them. I just thought they looked pretty, that's all. Did you, though? I shook my head, feeling disoriented as my mind flickered between thoughts rapidly like a broken radio station. Mychael snapped his fingers for my attention. Look at me, Firefly. His voice was snippy and irritated. I blinked rapidly to ground myself, scratching my head as I tried to gather my thoughts. Talk to me. Say anything. Some people think they're magic. Yeah, that's a pretty common belief in mushroom rings, isn't it? I hung on to that thought. Keep going? Related to fae folk, you know? It's why they're called fairy rings, or a fairy circle. Mychael squinted before easing, his demeanor just a little less tense compared to before. They do look like they could summon a portal at any moment and whisk you away. I looked over at Mychael, expecting him to look amused. Instead, he was glaring down at the ground as if the mushrooms were the most vile thing he had ever seen. No. It's more of an invasive species than anything else. I followed his gaze towards the harmless circle of fungus. That thing is anything but harmless. I remember there's one ending where they freaking kill us. The mushrooms kill us and dissolve us, and you can just see the outline of our body on the ground, okay? They also ate our cat, so spoilers for those who haven't seen the other two parts, but if you haven't seen the other two parts, what are you doing here? Go watch them. But, oh my gosh. Yeah, Mychael has a reason to be very like, do not touch those. Do not touch those. You will die. And we're just like, oh, they're just mushrooms. And he's like, no. No. No, they surely are not. They are? Should we do something about it? He blinked as if coming out of a gaze. No. Sorry. Just, thought this slipped out. Wait a minute. Is that the same species as him? Because, he's a mushroom boy. Is that just like a prequel to what he turns into? If they gain enough... Oh. Theory shirt. Okay, it's theory time, guys. What if the ring and the mushrooms is how they start, and once they gain enough, like, substance and, like, victims, they turn into, like, beings like Mychael? But now that he's sentient, he knows about that, and he, like, despises it, knowing that's where he came from. I mean, come on, guys, come on. That would make sense. And it make another sense of why he really hates it. He pinched his nose bridge, his normally soft voice a tired grumble. Normally, I'd leave them alone to do their business, but having you here... Anyway, just don't touch them, okay? He was being far too uptight about something as trivial as the circle of mushrooms. It feels like there's more to it than that. His sigh was exasperated. They're just... grew in my part of the forest is all. They make me uncomfortable. It definitely felt like Mychael wanted to use a stronger word than uncomfortable, a barely concealed growl between his teeth. Why? I thought you liked mushrooms. Mychael's ears flattened. Not these. They're not even real mushrooms. They're not? No. He seemed to hesitate before blurting. They just happen to mimic mushrooms. Oh. Never heard of something like that. Though there are some pretty wild foliage out there that could copy the looks of nearby plants. Does it have a name? His brows scrunched in confusion. What? Them? Yeah. You know, as in the species. Oh. Um, I'm not entirely sure. I can recognize them by sight, though, so just stick with me when we're out in the woods, okay? I really don't want you anywhere near them. Alright, if you say so. I just don't get how they can be invasive, is all. I consider it invasive when they come on my property. I mean, yep. I mean, that is invasive. Is he really getting this angry over cute mushrooms? I'm gonna be honest. You're acting really weird about it, Mychael. He was getting more agitated the longer we stood there, hands clenching in a tight fist. Sparrow, I know I ask a lot from you, but please, let's just leave them alone, okay? Why? There's something you're not telling. Oh, God. Dude, you scared me. You scared me. Mychael. Look, can we just... I flinched, backing away from him, and his voice rang through the trees. A silence passed between us before he took a deep breath. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please. Can we just step away from here? He held out his hand. His fingers were trembling. He knows those mushrooms will freaking murk us in a minute. Let's be nice. I closed my hand around his, noting the way his tail flicked so hard it thumped against his leg. His fingers were calloused against my own, twisting at the unfamiliar sensation. I stepped up beside him, looking at him expectantly. Oh. I didn't think you'd take it. Now it's my turn to get flustered. You offered. I know I did. I thought I scared you, so I figured... We waited for the other to say something, our face growing heated as seconds passed. He finally laughed, exclaiming something strange and garbled before squeezing my hand. Sparrow, you really are something special. I hope you realize that. He gave my hand another tight squeeze, snapping me out of my daydream. Let's get you home, Firefly. Mychael took the lead, his footing sure and confident. He must have noticed my unsteady gait beside him, as he subtly veered towards a clearer path I could easily follow. I didn't verbalize it, but I was definitely grateful for that. As much as the forest was growing on me, getting my feet caught in roots and twigs every few steps gets tiring after a while. Our steps fell into rhythm next to each other. I peeked at Mychael every once in a while, trying to gauge his mood after what happened. Even after spending so much time with him, he was so difficult to read. How can someone both wear their heart on their sleeve, yet keep it stitched tight, never letting anyone come too close? I knew he had secrets he wanted to keep close to his chest, but I wished he'd just open up to me a little. The silence that hung in the air was making my skin prickle. What's your favorite animal? I was so caught up in my thoughts, I didn't even realize I blurted the first thing that came to my mind. Mychael regarded me curiously, ear flicking. My favorite animal? He pursed his lips in thought before his ears perked. Jellyfish. I did a double take. It was one thing for him to have an answer so readily, but the choice was something else. A jelly? Why jellyfish? I thought it'd be, I don't know, a bird or something. He shrugged. They're pretty to look at least from the pictures I've seen. Plus, I kind of relate to them. He said that without zero hesitation. How exactly do you relate to jellyfish? His expression faltered, as if deciding on the right way he could explain his answer. Let's just say I have something in common. With a jellyfish. Well, one jellyfish. In what way? They're pretty to look at? we got another flirt in there. A strangled noise slips past his throat. No. You wouldn't get it. Try me. No. I groaned like a dying whale in exasperation. Shoulders slumped like I had a back problem. He's not going to elaborate anymore, is he? He probably spotted the growing vein on my forehead as he snickered. Relax, Firefly. You're going to faint on the spot if you think any harder. If you're allowed to get upset about mushrooms, I'm allowed to get upset about jellyfish. His smile dropped for a second before his cheeky grin returned. Touché. Oh, he said touch. He just said touch. Touch what? You know, touch. I stared at him, his happy grin shifting into a confused frown. You know, touch. When it's like saying you're right. You mean touché? He smiled innocently. Yeah! This man will be the death of me. He trying. He laughed at my screwed up grimace, waving a hand hastily. What about you? What's your favorite animal? Your chicken. Oh, we gotta do it. Cats or your chickens? He was taken back, clearly not expecting that answer. Really? Yeah. Who wouldn't fall in love with the little darlings? He seemed pleased with that answer, his already wide smile softening further. You're right. Who wouldn't fall in love with a little darling? We continued with idle chatter after that. I didn't even know how much time had passed as the trees slowly thinned out, the sounds of nature muffling as the canopy started to grow scarce. Suddenly, I heard the soft yet familiar rumble of a car in the distance. I almost didn't pick up on it, fully immersed in whatever Mychael was rambling about. Something about the life cycle of a topsy-turvy door knee, or whatever he called it. Oh, have we really walked that far already? I left Mychael's side and rushed forward. He made a sound of surprise but followed suit. I neared the edge of the forest just as another car drove past. I recognized my street instantly. Breaking into a light jog, I almost missed Mychael calling for my name as I run down the road. There! My house was visible from where I stood by the street. I was breathing heavily by the time Mychael approached my side, the man barely making a sound as I took in the sight. Oh, I missed this. I turned to thank Mychael, only to startle when a bundled stranger took his place. He's in disguise. Look at him. He's in disguise. Ah. Sorry. People about. I couldn't see anyone around, but I guess he was right to be safe. I guess this was his version of a disguise. If I were to pass him on the street, I don't think I would have bothered to look twice. I mean, I'd want to say thank you to your face, but I'll settle for this, I guess. His chuckle was muffled under the scarf. He pulled it down so he could speak properly. Did I scare you? I got distracted. Mychael's eyes squinted from where I could see them. And I wonder how you don't get lost every 20 steps. Hey, he laughed at my offended tone. You better not go back in there, got it? I'm not always going to be around to find you. Who says I need you around to find me? No, he didn't like that. Almost instantly, his eyes hardened under his sunglasses. I'm serious. Don't go wandering in these woods again, or I might have to start taking drastic measures just to make sure you stay put right where you are. I sputtered indignantly. Oh, but baby, can you come visit us? Our house is right next to the woods. I'll wander where I please. Sure. He looked over my shoulder towards my house. So that's where you live, huh? Looks cozy. I wasn't sure if he was being genuine, considering he lived in the woods back ends of middle of nowhere. Suddenly I perked up with a thought. Do you want to come by? His eyes darted towards me, shock evident on his face. Me? To your home? I nodded. He froze completely. For a second, I thought he stopped breathing. I. I. I'd love to. Oh. Oh no. The doggy scared him. Sudden barking and a shout startled us both, my body jerking forward as his arm yanked me close. I heard a soft rustle as his sunglasses fell to the grass from the sudden motion, his hastily worn beanie shaken off his head. Looking up, it was just my neighbor calling out toward their dog. Oh, looks like Vita's back from college. I paused, feeling his grips tighten. I looked down at his hand on my shoulder before glancing up at him. Mychael? Oh, baby, your disguise fell off. He snapped back to the present, his hand releasing me quickly. Sorry. He looked towards my neighbor and their dog for another moment before turning back to me. I don't think it's a good idea for me to go with you. I don't want to be seen. I deflated just a little. But you have your disguise, don't you? He shook his head insistently. I can't risk it. It's better this way. He spoke with a finality that was starting to become familiar. He was so happy to be invited a minute ago, and then the dog scared him, and he realized how dangerous it was. If he wasn't willing, fine. At least I was. Before he could pick up his accessories, I gently grabbed his wrist. Then can I come visit you instead? Yes! What? I huffed impatiently. If you won't come to mine, then I'll go to yours. Once again, he was rendered speechless. Why would you ever want to see me again? At this point, I was starting to look and sound peeved. For all his good traits, the constant need to build his walls higher around me was starting to get annoying. I folded my arms, looking stern. His eyes widened as if in preparation, ears flattening like a cat in the middle of a scolding. Mychael, can you just accept the fact that maybe I enjoy your company and wouldn't mind more? I'm sorry. I just... Nobody's ever... But you wanted to go home so badly. Oh, this man is hopeless. Yes, of course I do. But that doesn't mean I'm going to forget about you completely. Besides, I promised I'd show you what phones could do, didn't I? Dismissing the fact that there's probably not much I can show when there's no data in the woods. I'm sure he'd be enthralled by whatever dinky mobile game I had installed at the time. The point was, I just wanted to see him again. So that means I get to see you again? I picked up on the eager tone in his voice, realizing he wished for the same sentiment. Yeah, I want to. His voice warbled for a second. Firefly. He cleared his throat, laughing to himself. Sparrow. You can't imagine how much that means to me. A lot. It means a lot. More than you know. I nodded, a giddy smile creeping onto my own face. How's next weekend? He tilted his head. That's 7 sundowns from now. 5? His smile widened, eyes squinting in absolute delight. Okay, I'll meet you here then. I smiled at him, figuring this was goodbye. Hug him. Give him a freaking hug. Give him a hug. I didn't think twice. Arms spread and wrapped around him before he could react. Mychael froze from head to toe, inhaling sharply as his shoulders tensed. For a second, I thought I triggered a fight or freeze response. It took a few seconds before he shifted to reciprocate, lightly placing his hands on the small of my back in a loose hold. Fingertips splayed awkwardly along my spine. He seemed to gain confidence as he wrapped his arms around me properly, a shaky sigh leaving his body as he relaxed. He's purring! Listen! He's purring! Oh my god, okay. He's purring! faint rhythmic rumble emitted from his chest, my eyes widening at the strange feeling. Was he purring? I knew I'd heard that sound before, but he was definitely purring. I didn't have time to dwell on it for long. His grip was getting tighter. Tighter. Buddy! Buddy! Let us go! I was about to sputter out gentle protest when another car passing by made him jump and release me. I had to step away to catch my breath after the squeeze. He's purring. Oh, baby. His arms dropped to the side with a blank stare in my direction. Oh. Out of the corner of my eyes, I could see his hand clenching tightly as if holding himself back. I looked up at him, expecting him to say something first. Instead, he just stared at me like I grew a third eye. I quickly cleared my throat, cheeks starting to burn. Anyway, I gave him one last punch to the shoulder. It felt like punching a sack of grains. I'll see you next weekend. Ignoring the heat in my face, I looked both ways before jogging across the street. My neighbor in the yard looked up as I approached, their eyes lighting up in recognition. Sparrow? Oh, hey! Vita and their dog. Oh, their dog's got, two different color eyes. That's so cute. Their hands fidgeted with the frisbee in their hand as they approached. Their ever-loyal Lakia following close behind. I was wondering where you'd been. I dropped by to give you some cake over the weekend, but you weren't home, and you didn't answer your phone, and your packages were piling up the door, and I held my hands up in a placating gesture. Vita, I'm fine. And at our feet, Lakia was dutifully pawing at their elbow to calm them down. Their mouth stopped midway through another sentence, blinking rapidly. Sorry. They reached down to pat Latia's head, significantly calmer as they asked me again. Where were you? Where have you been? I was, visiting a friend. For a digital detox? Off the grid and all that. They blinked slowly, nodding. Oh, that sounds exciting. By the tone of their voice, they didn't mean it at all. It was exciting, okay? It was very exciting. Oh, what about Kitty? Did you manage to find him? My mood instantly dropped. No. That's why I went away in the first place, you could say. It took a few seconds for Vita to understand what I meant. Oh, I'm sorry. It's fine. They straightened, a flash of empathy on their face before they smiled. Okay. Look at the tail wagging. Well, Lakia and I are around for the semester break if you need anything. We should do a movie night. Maybe that'll lift your spirits. I found this really good one that you'd like. I did some research and I feel like it's right up your alley. Lakia and I could take a quick drive to the store, so just let us know when you're up for it. I could get your favorite snacks and stuff. Lakia gave a happy bark at the familiar word. A fond smile quirked at my lips. Thank you, Vita. I'll bring the orange soda. Their expression lit up happily. Take care! I bid them both goodbye and walk up my driveway. Once I got my door, I got an urge to turn around one last time. I was surprised to see... Oh, looky! There he is! Look at him in dark! Oh, baby boy! I was surprised to see Mychael still standing by the forest edge, shadowed by the trees. Our eyes made contact, his own fierce, piercing yellow shining against the shade. I gave him a big wave. It took a moment, but he waved back. Smiling to myself, I unlocked the front door and let myself inside. It was surreal standing in my own doorway again. I feel like Alice who just woke up at the end of the book, feeling like I dreamed of Wonderland. I tossed my keys in my backpack by the hall carelessly before plugging my phone into the charger. I dreaded playing catch-up with the people who might have tried to reach me during my absence. Work, family, friends. I groaned aloud, flopping onto the living room couch. Oh well. At least I had this weekend to look forward to. That's all from day 3 of Mushroom Oasis. More updates coming in the future. Yay! I was so afraid that was feeling like it would be like the end, but I'm so happy that that's not the end and we're going to have more in the future. So, looking forward to the weekend. So, that means we're really going to have Mychael coming over and we can show him stuff. That is lovely. I'm so glad the game's not over yet and we can like look forward to another day with our sweet Mychael. Oh goodness. Oh man. Like I as always the art is gorgeous. I feel like you can see like the development of like the art style and the everything as time is going, because you notice there was like more moving parts and little bits like that, like the hand coming out and grabbing us and Mychael's eyes like shaking and the tail wagging from the dog. I don't think we had any moving parts like that in the second part, at least. I know we didn't in the first, I don't think. But that is amazing. You can it's like before our eyes we can see this dev gaining more experience as the time goes by, and it's just amazing, and I'm very excited to see more about what's going to happen in the future for the story of our character and Mychael. Mychael is going to be able to be a part of the world in one way or another. He could learn about technology, about like I guess video games and everything, and he can have access to the biggest library in the world. The digital online library. He is going. His little mind's just gonna go like, poof, because he. I think he said that he would dress up and he would go in disguise and go look at a library to learn how to make like stuff for his farm. So he would definitely love this. That's so exciting. Tell me what you think of the game. Any support, feedback is highly appreciated. Thank you for playing. Okay. We're not done yet, so don't go running away. Okay, let me readjust myself. I don't know how I got way down here in the corner. What did I do? There we go. A little better. I guess I just got way too into the game. But we're going to play back through the different options and see what happens. I'm sure we're going to reach more dead ends. Okay. Everybody who's watching, take a good little stretch. Stretch out those limbs. Get you a good drink. Make sure to give a pet to any of your rabbits or cats or dogs. Just give them a nice big pet. Alright. Should we start? Okay, we're going to start at the end and see what the difference would say if we just thanked him instead. You're welcome, Firefly. His voice was filled with a warm, soft reverence. I didn't think much of it before, but now I was really curious. Why do you call me that? Huh? Firefly. You've been calling me that since we met. Why? Oh. He fidgeted with the strap of his satchel as if embarrassed. I guess you just remind me of one. I snorted, folding my arms in mock offense. You're comparing me to a fly now? Beetle, actually. Still a bug. He sighed, rolling his eyes. I'm not done. Right, sorry. Go on. He rubbed the tip of his fingers on the strap again, slowly speaking. When I first found you, I thought our time together would be short. Something that might fade as quickly as it appeared. And if I wasn't careful, you could slip away so easily. Fireflies are delicate after all. But then, you stayed. And not just stayed, you lit up everything around me. Something I didn't even realize I needed. Your light was warm, soft, mesmerizing, safe. I wish I could keep you in my hands forever. But you wouldn't like that. Would you? He stared at me with such intensity I really did start to feel like a bug under a microscope. My face grew warm, a shudder running up my spine. Wow, cool story. Anyway, I gave him one last punch to the shoulder. Feel like punching. Okay. Ignoring the heat on my face, I looked both ways for jogging across the street. Whee. That's really cute. We get to find out why he calls us Firefly. Do 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 do. Okay, so this is going to end the same way, but we did get more info. Do 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 do. All right, what if we just be very, very stubborn? Okay, 9. What if we are like the stubbornest person ever? I should be careful. I just couldn't shake the feeling that Mychael was hiding something. He'd been a gracious host so far, but that didn't make him the most trustworthy either. There's definitely something I'm missing. My mind was wandering even as I undressed and stepped under the shower. Okay. Okay, this all looks like the same. Wait, okay, never mind. This is all different. We flirted with him before. I tried not to look uneasy as he looked me up and down. So, how they fit? They're alright. Much too big for me. He nodded, turning back to the part. I can see that. His smile faltered as he picked up the wariness of my tone. Is everything alright? His eyes held a sense of worry, his shoulders tensing. I can get you something else to wear if you like. There's no need. He paused, hands gripping onto the ladle tightly as he continued to hesitate. Sparrow? There's another pause before his brows furrowed. I'm not an idiot. You don't trust me, do you? I flinched. Mychael looked hurt as he sighed. So I'm right. His ears flicked by the sides of his head as he turned around, back towards the stove. Can't I just know why? His eyes were sad as he stared at the pot, as if he'd been in this situation before. I thought I did everything right. Truthfully, I didn't expect such a direct confrontation. There's a lump in my throat as my fists clenched at my sides. It's just... The kettle started whistling, but he was clearly ignoring it. I swallowed down my growing anxiety and decided to be upfront. I just didn't expect to be here again. It felt like the wrong thing to say when Mychael's frown deepened. So you never wanted to be here? I didn't mean it like that. Then how else could you possibly mean it? Another deep sigh slipped out of him as he reached to lift the kettle off the stove, mumbling to himself. I was hoping you'd be different. What was I thinking? What did you say? Nothing. Mychael, His forlorn expression made my words feel thick on my tongue, forcing me to reluctantly swallow them back down. Any trace of suspicion I had faded and was replaced with a feeling of guilt. I'm so sorry. I just thought I'd be home by now. I know. I'm sorry, too. Mychael! He lifted his gaze towards me, eyes full of regret. But is it really so bad, Sparrow? I know being lost in the woods with a man you don't know can be scary, but I promise you you're safe. The last thing I'd ever want you to be is scared. He trailed off. So just trust me, okay? Can you do that? Please? I swallowed and gave him a nod. My gut still rolled with suspicion, every fiber of my being wary of him to a certain extent. He seemed satisfied, though, eager to move past the tension. Thank you. His mouth quivered at the edges, all four of his eyes squinting me with the slightest bit of hope. Please, just let it be different for once. Okay, this is the same. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. Garlic bread, please. Got it. Okay, this is the same. There's still a feeling of stilted awkwardness, but the food helped us ease into a warmer, light-hearted section. Okay. Mychael was eyeing me as he grabbed the stool and dragged it to the center of the room. Is there something outside? His question sounded innocent, but it had a sense of wariness to it. I shook my head quickly. Nothing, I was just... Something catches my eye from under the bed, glinting like a knife. Tilting my head lower, I could see it was a tin container, the size of a shoebox. What's that? You can tell that we're more like on edge because we could pair the glint to that of a knife because we're already like, oh, it's got to be something bad. It's got to be something bad. A panicked look came across his face. That thing? Just some emergency supplies. Yeah, nothing too special. I had an inkling he was being dishonest again, but I figured I'd leave it for another day. I see. Mychael watched me for a moment or two before clearing his throat. Okay. Okay, we've seen all this. Yeah, we didn't ask him to join us at all. Right. Skip. Don't trust him. My eyes narrowed just a tad. Could I really trust his word? Did I have another choice? Will you tell me what happened yesterday at the river? The river? I already told you what happened at the river. His voice sounded strained at the end. So that's it then. You're just gonna send me home. He nodded. Okay. I paused for a moment before quickly adding, thank you. He nodded and went back to eating, watching me expectantly as he took a timid bite. Okay. Do. Okay, we've seen this. Poor bunny. Okay, he's being sadistic. What kind of cold-hearted person says that? I could hardly believe how needlessly callous he was being. For someone so sweet with his hens, he was so indifferent about the poor rabbit shaking at our feet. Would it be different if we said please? Okay, that seems to be... Okay, hang on. Alright, back again. Ah! Okay, I guess you're right. We haven't done that one before. Okay, follow me? Who was I to say what was right and wrong? Maybe he had a point. It was just one small rabbit in the grand theme of things. We should just let it be. Mychael led us back to where we came. The struggling, squeaking noises of the rabbit eventually drowned out by the sounds of the forest around me, left alone to his fate. Guilt spread through my chest like an inky mold, but I quickly stifled it. It's just nature. Let it be. Let it be. Mychael took the lead, his footing sure and confident. Oh, that's sad. Okay, now we're talking about the animal again. Okay, so that didn't really make that big of a difference. What? Yeah, relax, Firefly. You're gonna faint on the spot if you think any harder. Yeah, well, it'd be your fault. His smile dropped for a second before his cheeky grin returned. Tosh. Touch? Okay, so we have seen this. Cats. He snorted, a fond smile on his lips. You know what? I don't even know why I bothered asking. Of course it's cats. What's that supposed to mean? He gave me a look. You know what I mean. Yeah, I know what you mean. He pretty much giggled in response. We continued to chatter after that. Oh, so we still make it back here, even if we're being mean. A small part of me couldn't help insisting it was a bad idea, but I was too curious not to ask. Do you want to come by? Oh. Then you get scared of the doggy. Alright. Looks like we're not gonna have like a dead end in this part. I wasn't my best self the last few hours spent with Mychael, being closed off the moment he held back information, but maybe a simple gesture could make up for it. Let's hug him. Like, some of the dialogue is a little different, but a lot of it is, that ends up being the same here. Alright. I just want to go back and check the other thing real quick. But we did get a bit more, information, like why he calls us fireflies and a few other things. Like, has he actually brought other people by? Because he said this time. Okay. Right, let's see. What if we do please? Because then he gets distracted. Oh! Oh, this is different. No, it's not. We took his hand before, right? But I think it was only take his hand and decline was our choices before. Call him out. No. Enough is enough. You keep dodging my questions. You keep deciding things on your own. You won't even tell me what the hell is wrong with these stupid mushrooms. Are you ever going to tell me the truth, or am I stuck in this loop of doubting every single word you say? His hand dropped like an anchor. You don't trust me? How can I? What happened yesterday, Mychael? I stared up at him, my glare sending him into a panic. Do you really want to know? My eyes narrowed. He flinched. I I. I made you sick. Sick? He swallowed, taking a deep breath. I'm able to suggest things, make people listen. I can make you forget fear, mess with the thoughts inside your head. What are you talking about? Sparrow, I hope you don't hate me for this. I cried out as the pressure started pushing against my eyes. A painful, aching pressure filled my head, my hands flying to clutch at my ears. What? My head felt tight and full to bursting, crushed under a weight I couldn't comprehend. It was like I'd painfully grown a second skull, and none of my thoughts fit in my own brain before pushing, pushing outward. Relax. It won't hurt if you relax. Mychael! I inhaled sharply, feeling the unbearable, droning headache growing into a painful spike. Were my ears bleeding or am I imagining it? Usually I have to be supple, otherwise your psyche will try to fight back. Like it is right now. Stop it! The feeling faded instantly. It was only then I realized I was crying, my cheeks wet with tears, my nose stuffed with snot. Why did you do that? I was trying to help you understand. By trying to kill me? No, that would have killed you. I made sure of it. Made sure of it. What does that even mean? I don't know what to do. That was all I ever known. You tricked me. You hurt me. And you dare ask that I trust you. I never hurt you like that, ever. I can promise you weren't hurt. It was all in your head. I balked at the audacity. And you think that makes it okay? He froze, her expression growing pained. No, it doesn't. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. This is getting painful. Oh. Oh no. You're a monster. You're a freak. You're disgusting. Oh no. You're a monster. His eyes widened with hurt. No. Sparrow, don't say that. Not after everything you said. Oh no. I was wrong. I was lying. I was an idiot. I was wrong. You don't mean that. You don't mean that. Leave me alone. No. No, please. Don't look at me like that. You're different. I know you are. We can start over. I promise. We can be friends. Are you serious? Forget it. Friends don't hurt each other playing twisted mind games. No. He's crying. Ah, this hurts. No. No, no, no. Please. Please forgive me. Please. Please, please. Let me have this. Please forgive me. His breathing grew erratic, gasping for air. Please. Please, please. I can't lose you like this. I can't. I take a step back from him, the movement causing his entire body to tense up. He suddenly lunged for me, grabbing my shoulders tight. Oh! Oh no! Oh no, we smacked him again. Somehow I was ready for it, shoving him back and slapping him across the face. He stood there in shock, tears spilling over his cheek from the force. You really do hate me. Oh, that hurts so much, Sparrow. Oh, baby. I'm sorry. Everything goes dark. Sparrow? Sparrow! Hey! I shot into a sitting position, a wet lick trailing up my cheek as the golden retriever barked. Lakia, down! Lakia? I recognized that voice. A tall figure loomed into view, their long hair tied back into a messy ponytail. My eyes widened as I recognized a familiar face. Vidya? You're back? My neighbor gave me a timid smile, fidgeting with a frisbee in their hands. Where have you been? I came home this weekend, but you weren't home. We were on our way to the park when we found you. I glanced around, realizing I was sitting on the sidewalk. Oh my gosh, we blacked out and he carried us back and dumped us here. He still brought us home. A few feet away at the edge of the woods, right beside our neighborhood. Vidya reached down and started picking twigs and leaves out of my hair, completely unprompted. Did you go camping? I don't remember. I stood on my feet, brushing off my clothes and fixing the bag over my shoulder. Oh, that's worrying. Are you sure you're okay? I think so? A shudder rang through me, my head glancing towards the trees. I saw a flash of yellow disappear into the bushes. Maybe a bird? Butterfly, perhaps? Oh no, he wiped our memory. I mean, understandable. He wiped our memory of him. Lockie must have seen it too as the dog started barking. Whatever it was already out of sight. I think I need to go home. Vivia was about to say more before I sidestepped, leaving them confused as I hastily made my way to my street. Reaching my home, I threw open the door and stumbled inside. All of my senses felt out of tune, like my brain was still catching up with my body. My bag dropped with a muffled thud to the ground, its contents a mystery as I wandered to the kitchen for a drink. Why did everything feel so fuzzy? It's like I was trimmed out of a stray photograph and pasted onto the scrapbook of a page where the memory didn't belong. Why? 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 Why did everything feel so wrong? I downed my drink, and another. My tongue was numb. It didn't feel like I tasted anything, or if my thirst was real at all. Maybe I needed a nap? I was about to shuffle off to my bedroom when there was a knock at my door. Confused, I hurried to open it, expecting Vita back from their walk. Nobody. Glancing down at my feet, there was a circle of blue flowers placed next to a strange wooden box. It looked like an instrument. Did someone mistake my house for another? Picking up the items, my hands brushed over the wood and thumbed the delicate petals. What a strange thing to leave at someone's doorstep. Even if it was a prank, why leave these items specifically? Oh, he's not there. He's not there. I looked out towards the forest, a pang of something nostalgic striking hard in my chest. I never set foot in those woods, never had a reason to. And yet, I couldn't help feeling like I lost something. Something important. But if it was important, surely I'd remember it. Ending 4, Forget Me Not. Oh. Oh no. Oh no, that was painful. Oh, that was emotional damage, guys. That was painful. Oh no. Oh no, we hurt the baby so bad. Oh, and he wiped our memory and still took us home. He still took us home. And then he gave us a flower crown and his musical instrument. Oh no. Why did he leave it? Was he just trying to give us something? As like an apology? Or is it something worse? Is he okay? Is he okay? He didn't do something crazy, did he? He wouldn't leave his chickens alone. Oh no. Oh my god. That one hurt. That one hurt. Oh no. Okay. Okay. I hate you. Okay, I think all these lead to the same way. I don't like it, but all those... Okay, all those lean to the same way. Okay, so I don't have to go through all of those individually. I don't want to. Those are painful. Um, history, load. Oh man, I can't see here. This one? Is this one? Okay, not that one. History, load. This one? Okay, what did we just decline? I shake my head. He looks dejected, but nevertheless accepted it with a gentle nod of his head. I'm really sorry for scaring you, Firefly. Are you okay? I'm fine, but don't ever yell at me like that ever again. His ears drooped, expression full of regret. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let's get you home? Let's get me home. Okay. Okay, so this is getting the same. Say your chickens. Just thank him. Alright, that looks like it was a normal ending. I think. Yeah. Okay. Wait, no, we went closer to the... Hang on. Your chickens. Okay, we're still inviting him over. Thank him. Okay, it does go over there. I just went so fast it didn't. Oh my gosh. Oh, I think we may have all the endings now. Um, this is where it went south, but just the soup. Okay, skip. Regardless how I felt about. Okay, this time let's say not at all. He gave a soft chuckle. Maybe you'd like it if you tried. Can I see what you're working on? Okay. Do we ever find out what's in the box? Under your bed. Is this something important? A hesitant look came across his face. Oh, just some emergency supplies. Nothing too special. Okay. Alright. Okay, we're gonna trust him. Okay. I think we may have everything now. Wait, let's go back to this one. Yes, actually. His eyes lit up. It's relaxing, isn't it? Can I see what you're working on? Okay. Okay, so it doesn't really matter what we say there. I wonder if we find out what's in there later. Okay, we are trusting the baby. Skip. He's being realistic. Please. We don't want the bunny to suffer. Okay, we're gonna take his hand. Cats. Alright, I think we have everything. Looks like we got the different possible endings. If you think I missed anything, please let me know. As always, the link is going to be down below so you guys can go check it out for yourself and see if there's anything I missed. But, oh my gosh, it's almost 2 hours. Holy crap. So that means this is much longer than the first two parts. Because I think we covered, I know we at least covered part two in an hour. I think part one about that time or a little less. So this is the longest installment of Mushroom Oasis so far. So, oh my gosh, there were so many good, sweet, cute moments. Oh, he did take us home. He took us home, and then he's gonna come visit us in 5 days. Yay! We can introduce him to everything. But oh my god, that bad ending. Bad ending number four. I think we got the other bad endings in part one, and I think we got one in part two, maybe. But oh my god, that bad ending hurt. It hurt. Oh, the baby. He wiped our memory and then he left us stuff. Oh no. Oh, our precious baby Mychael. Oh no. Now we have to wait for part four to see what changes. Goodness. I think I have everything. I think I have everything. As always, this game is freaking amazing. I highly suggest you guys follow the link down below and check it out for yourself. Give the devs some love. They've been clearly working very hard on this. This is a amazing project, and I will surely play the next part when it comes out. Thank you so much for joining me, and oh, please be nice to Mychael. I'll see you next time. Bye.